Hello?
What's up, girl? What happened after Tony dumped you?
Girl, I'm over it. I went from heartbreak to hate.
Hello, babes.
Hey, Bob, you threw me off.
I know. I thought I'd give you some of
Yeah.
your stuff.
Yes, give me some of that British flair.
Joy is tits deep in British culture.
Is that right?
I mean, come on. If we're going by height, you gotta be at least tits deep.
I mean, I feel like you're complimenting me at the same time that you're insulting me.
Well,
I don't
would
know how
it
I feel
be?
about it.
Would you have it any other way?
I mean, I could, but this far in, I think I know better. So.
I mean, yeah.
But no, it's true. I'm deep in to all things British. I've been watching all of the baking, the best home cooks. I'm having like a full-on Mary Berry affair.
Ooh.
Just discovered her. Learning a little bit of slang. Doing my horrible impersonation of the accent. I only do a phrase or two. So,
Right.
and I will not do that now because we do have British listeners. So.
Yes.
I will love you all enough not to do that.
On top
this
of
time.
all the things she does on at home, we also have been watching the UK Drag Race, which we both
Yes.
love because it's super creative.
It's
and
just newer and fresher, and
it's newer, fresher, and we like to be able to kind of. It helps you to listen a little bit more because you might not understand the words coming out of their mouth because we don't know all British slang, obviously.
right.
But we got the babes.
We do got the babes.
So this is going to be one hell of a show.
I see what you did there.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Great.
So we're talking about hell.
Mm-hmm. Because the thing is that, the idea of fire is so old school.
It
just is.
It's literally like 2,000 plus years old, right? 4,000 plus years old. Like, I don't even know. Like, hell itself has been around for thousands of years, right?
Yeah.
Whether you believe it's the literal hell, which is Guyana in the Bible, the first. I'm like losing my train of thought on that, but actually, the original Bible, the Old Testament. There you go.
It's the purple pop.
It's the purple pop. See, every once in a while I drink grape soda, and today I did, and I'm actually allergic, but I do it just to torture myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. So hell.
Excuse his mini stroke. Yes.
Literal.
So hell. Other than a literal place, the idea that we've all been those of us who grew up with a Christian background, like the fire and brimstone kind of Christian. So those of us older, I don't think they had a lot of contemporary, softer Christian groups when we were kids. Like, that wasn't it. It was really just like it was much more intense, and it was either like choose your flavors, like Baptist, Pentecostal type of thing.
And if you breathed wrong,
you're
you
going
went
to hell.
Like,
And
literally.
hell was fiery and brimstone. But we're here to say that is such a old. It's the last year, last century, last all the things.
It is so
millennia.
20th century, though, isn't it?
We're gonna tell you what hell really is.
Hell is on Earth,
That's absolutely true.
and as Pat Benatar sang, hell is for children. But so we're going to talk to you about the types of hell that we feel exist, and maybe the 7, 8, 9, 10, 200 realms of hell that are on
There are
Earth.
a lot of realms.
There are a lot of realms, and like the Chinese, they have many types of hell. So it's the hell of being cut to pieces, right? So do you have some stuff to talk about?
I do.
I have some stuff to talk about. I have some suggestions brought in from, not from people who suggested them, but from the internet that I pulled up. So So what do you got so far?
Well, so just like to baby step in, right? Like, because if we're gonna go with the traditional idea of like different circles, and you work your way towards something that's worse, right? The worstest. If I could make up a word, then just at like the softest, just underneath purgatory, wet socks
Yeah.
for all eternity. Imagine having to walk around in wet socks.
So we've all done it, right? We've all stepped in a puddle. Some of us circumvent that by not even wearing socks and shoes when it's raining. That would be me. I'll just wear flip-flops because they're going to get wet anyway. And that's fun for Joy to try to watch me walk in a store with wet feet. But it's, yeah, I'm stupid. But anyway, it's ridiculous. Plus, if you have to stay in them.
You have to stay in them.
Like, I remember in
It's
school.
horrible.
Like being out at recess, it poured down raining, your socks are wet, your shoes, and you're, of course, I mean, nowadays maybe people are able to take their shoes off and socks off, but that would not have been allowed.
No. I
Like,
mean, as soon as you'd have reached for a shoe,
they
your
would have
teacher
been like,
the
what the
fuck?
hell? Yeah. So you just sit there and steam because your feet are steaming at that point, right? So you're just creating this mildew steam. It's a mildew. Your shoes are soupy. I like, one time I went to a concert in Springfield, and the only way out of the concert, and there was a pouring downpour raining, you had to walk under this viaduct, and the water was literally at your waist.
Oh my god.
And the person I was with was like, we shouldn't do this. I was like, I ain't fucking staying here.
You're like,
So
I don't care.
you better hold on to me because
Dedicated.
we're walking through the water, and like, I
Wow.
can swim. And so that was a horrible ride home.
Yes. Just
Because
a
it was
fucking nightmare.
August. We couldn't have the air on because it was, if we had the air on, you're
Yeah.
freezing.
Then you're freezing the wetness to
So
your body.
Sweat,
Ah.
wet, all the things you like from sex, but not in your shoes. I may have went barefoot for a while, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Do you have another soft level that you want to introduce us?
I have a weird one. So
Okay.
I found this on the internet, and I thought that this was a post about 23 people suggested. I'm sure they took more, but 23 types of hell that people had personally. This one was the weirdest one I could possibly find, and it's very specific.
Okay.
Having to smell sauerkraut all day while having my belly button touched.
That is extremely weird.
Extremely specific.
It is.
I feel like there has to be a backstory.
I want there to be.
But I'm like, I just feel like it's really weird. But then it kind of goes in like, one of my hells is touchy-feely people. So like people who, when they talk to you, they gotta touch your hands.
You know the one that makes me crazy? People who have to hit you when they're and like, yes, and they're like, I just really want it, and then they just keep doing it. And you're like, if you don't stop, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you any second now.
But that's also, I feel like, maybe some kind of nervous thing. But I don't know. I don't know science, and I don't know psychology. But in my head, is trying to get you to believe their story, because it's usually one of those things, right? Or it's like when you're telling them something and they don't believe it.
They're trying to really engage you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So like touchy-feely things, like I don't like when people like put weird fingers, like I'm doing motions like witchy fingers.
Weird fingers.
And like on your back when they're like standing behind
I
you.
do know what you're talking about. But
Like
that's usually like it's like a certain type of woman who's kind of like a newish mother type of like almost substitute teacher-ish kind of feel, like put all that together.
I hope none of
And
our
you get
audience is triggered by
You
that.
get the
But
weird
yes.
fingers on the, but you know what I'm talking about though.
Oh, yeah.
You've met this person.
Oh no. Because
If you're out there and you
it's
are
always
this person, you know it's true.
It's always a situation where like you're facing somebody and this person walks up behind you and they're talking to the person that you're facing, but they're touching you.
Yes. That's so
like
true.
my facial expression's always going to be like extreme.
Just eyes wide.
Because there's no point, like you can still talk and not touch me. So that's
the part of their hell that I relate to. Now, I don't encounter sauerkraut enough to know what having to smell it all day would be like, but I imagine that my substitute would be somebody continually heating up some kind of fish leftovers in a microwave at work all day long.
Don't heat up fish in the microwave at work, people.
The times that I have literally gone into a and you like, and then as soon as it hits you, and you're like, like, I'm no longer hungry. I have to go back to my desk. I have to fan myself.
Like, I'm not a fish person, so I don't want to pretend like I know the proper way to heat up fish. But I don't feel that fish necessarily tastes good the second time around. I mean, I don't know if this is a leftover situation, if it's frozen. I mean,
fish is absolutely best when you first cook it.
Right.
Because I am a fish person. So cook as much as you need and really no more. And if you need to reheat it, you need to do that shit at home. That's the first.
in an oven.
In an oven.
At slow
Absolutely.
rise.
Because microwave.
It's like
can
deep dish
go
pizza.
rubbery. Yeah, fish goes rubbery so easily. Just
Yeah,
don't microwave. That's okay. We've talked about that.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, obviously, there's meetings on camera like all day long. I'm not gonna get into that. What I want to give you is, sorry for all you parents out there, kids telling a story. and listen. I have young siblings, so this feels fair.
And then.
Yeah.
And then.
And so because when we were going. Okay, but the thing is, what we were doing is we were really going in a circle, and then Sarah was there, and then I forgot to tell you that. No. I need us to land. I need us to go to a destination. We're not going to a destination. We keep pulling off on the side of the road every 4 seconds.
And Joy will say that to me because sometimes I do those types of stories because I get uber excited and I start telling something. I'm like, no, wait. And Joy will be like, is there a point? Like, are you going to say something? Or if I take too long of a pause, Joy will say, are you going to say something?
Is that
Just
the
to
end?
push
or
the
is there
story
more?
along. Yeah. No, I get it. And like, I love my niece and nephew. And there's twins situation there.
Yeah.
So they are like taking turns doing that. And then, one will interrupt the other and then has to start all over again because someone's feelings get upset. So like, yeah. That's it's true though. Like it's kind of like listening to an older person tell a story again.
Yes. One
Not
that they told you 72 times.
The one that they told 72 times, like every time you see him at Christmas. It's not necessarily anything to do with any kind of senility or whatever, how you pronounce that in a different way. But like not being senile or anything, but like they just repeat it.
They just repeat it over and over again.
Because like I've said before, I think at some point in your life, that's it. Like you just tell the same stories that you've told for hundreds of years, and you don't try to learn something new. So like, that's where that comes from.
And then your family loves you enough to give you like an appropriate response, so that just only reinforces.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're gonna listen to you because it's Christmas and they have to do it one time a year. This one I feel might be one of Joy's favorites.
Okay.
Mandatory social functions with your coworkers where all the food has cilantro in it.
No, that is like one of the deepest levels.
Yeah.
Are you required to eat the food with soap?
I mean, you have
like
to be polite,
soap.
right?
I don't like them bitches, so why would I be polite?
Oh. Hi.
That's not true. I like some of them. Would you like me to name the 2 or 3 that I can't
No,
stand?
no, that's fine. We would like to leave the mystery out there for them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel about peanut butter.
I know.
Because growing up as a kid, hating peanut butter, every single time we got treats at school, there was Snickers, Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah. There's a lot of peanut butter in a child's life.
Yeah, and so like to be that kid is a hell.
Yeah.
And like I said before, like I don't remember anybody being allergic to peanut butter.
Did your mom just make jelly sandwiches, or did you guys just not
Yeah,
even
I
have
just
them?
remember. Don't even get me started.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You know I don't like jelly, and jelly should not even exist. It should be jam or preserves only. Jelly is just like sugar water that's frozen. I'm not frozen but congealed. It's just like it's like jam fat is what it is. It's like eating that.
Okay, but they aren't known as peanut butter and jam sandwiches, so
No, but they should be because it's healthier and it's a better option.
Okay.
And I think it would doubly stick to your teeth because that's yeah. So like I just ate jelly sandwiches literally, and like anytime there was anything with peanut butter, just had to sit there and not eat.
Yeah.
Like one time I was like, I've had enough. I'm gonna eat this Snickers that we got at a movie, like a school movie, and I fucking almost vomited.
You were born in the wrong time, because if you had been born like when my sisters were born, that would have been the right age that you could have claimed that you had a peanut butter allergy.
Absolutely.
And then they'd have to provide an alternative.
I have met a few people who actually don't like peanut butter. Sam, who was on the podcast,
Okay.
does not like peanut butter.
Okay.
Not allergic, just hates it.
Yeah.
So like there's very few people, and I don't like peanuts either, so like that's a whole thing.
I know.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into it today.
Not gonna
We'll
go into
unpack
it.
that again later.
Yes.
Okay. Was that you or was that me? Whose turn is it?
It was me transitioning into a me.
Okay.
That was the cilantro thing into me.
Yes.
So yeah.
Ugh. Someone sniffling and coughing nonstop. And this is like even before COVID days.
Right.
Have you ever had to sit in a room taking a test, like on a computer for fucking 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this one mangy ass bitch who's fucking sniffling and hacking away, and you can distinctly hear, you're like, she's not even covering her fucking mouth while
No.
she's over there doing that shit.
Just wiping her snot on her hands and shit. Ugh.
But where can you go? Nowhere.
Nowhere,
Because
'cause you're
you already had
trapped.
to check in, like it's the motherfucking police and shit. All the certification tests are like that.
Yeah,
It's
and you're
like,
not allowed to leave the room
Yeah.
until the test is
They
done.
have to check your glasses to make sure you didn't write answers in the fucking frames.
Right. Still take your cell phone from you. It's very serious. But I mean, I had a similar a test. Like, it wasn't that. It was someone whose perfume was so strong
Oh no.
that I couldn't breathe, and I literally failed the test and left because I just couldn't deal with it because her perfume was so strong. And it's like,
Yeah. I have gotten off of a bus, walked, frozen my ass 15 fucking blocks because I will not smell Mr. Sir's whole fucking
Mm.
bottle of cologne that he's
Mhm.
put on
mhm.
and is immune to somehow.
guys are a little worse about that than women. I think that I don't know what it is about men and cologne, but you got to go through like 2 or 3 bottles a week. That's probably why it's so much cheaper than perfume. Because they just put it behind their ears, on their neck, on their chest. They drink a little bit of it. I don't know like what the fucking point is, but yes. Sniveling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffing head people.
Ah, look at that. Wait a minute. Hold on. I think the best way to describe this hell, an MTD bus driver, any bus driver,
Mhm.
bus driver, all day long. Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
All of the sounds, all of the smells.
Which
Oh God.
brings me, I mean, this episode's flowing so easily. I don't even know how long we've been talking. We still got a lot more time.
Okay.
We just keep going from one hell to the next. But that brings up another one of my hells is repeating the same thing over and over and over again. So you know that everyone's had a job, or maybe you haven't, and you've
Yep.
been a lucky motherfucker.
Nope.
But everyone's had a job where you've had to either repeat like, welcome to blah 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 blah, what's the special, blah 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 blah. Or when you're an MTD driver, you have to tell them to put their money into the thing. I mean, now they have announcements that come over, and like Chicago's definitely that way, where someone is electronic announces it.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, trained people are different. They completely separate from everybody else. They don't touch people or talk to people. But on a rainy day, the conversation for every single motherfucker getting on that bus is going to be
Yes,
weather.
which is your favorite?
which is my absolute least favorite thing to talk about.
You start shuddering and
I
peeing.
do. But yeah, that would just be another hell, just complete on repeat.
Yeah.
Same conversation.
Oh, okay. Let's move on from that. Shall we? Do you have any more from your crazy list?
Well, I have one that actually triggers one that's probably for both of us. It's forever walking behind the slowest group of tourists on the planet
Oh my
with
God.
no way to get around them. The tourist is easily replaced with customers in a store.
Bitches who have been in a place
Yes.
72 times before and still act like it's brand new. Yes.
Like Joy and I can go to a store together, separate, do all the shopping we need to do, and meet back in 10 to 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
And then we're checking out. Like, we've got records.
We're both doing supermarket sweep on
yes,
our own
absolutely.
individually.
And then
meet
we
in the
meet in
front.
the same spot, and then we're done. Like, that is how we shop. And you know I got that 10-minute mark before someone gets on my nerves.
Yes.
And people just act like they got no place to be.
Yes.
That's one of the main things for me, which is one of the things I say the most. You got no place to be? I said that earlier to someone walking in the crosswalk. But yeah,
But it's worse on sidewalks when people are just lollygagging, and you're like, I know you know that I'm behind you, but you're traveling like a pack of 4 deep over here, just out for an afternoon
just
stroll.
rubbernecking. Like you're looking around, you're looking at the sky, you're looking at the trees.
Do me a favor, stroll in the fucking street in traffic
and get hit by a car. Because, like, if you have no place to be, don't be.
Yes.
Like,
Be in the fucking park doing circles or something.
Be in your house on the couch. Don't be out in people's way. It's rude. Because if they say anything to you, then they're rude. Oh.
Yeah.
10:30 to 11, you're allowed to be on the streets walking. This is AM. You can walk wherever you want to walk in that 30 minutes.
Right.
But at 11, when lunch starts for people who do it early, you need to start getting out of the way. You need to get your lottery tickets during that time. You need to get all kinds of stuff. All that 30, you got the whole 30 minutes every day. Then take your ass back home.
Which, an adjacent hell to this is when you're on the highway and you get caught behind a slow driver. But then in the fast lane are those people who insist on being over there, and they're like being a big enough dick that they're like right in your way, and they are not passing this other fucking person. And so, so you're just there for like minutes on minutes on minutes, like, would it kill you to speed up just a little bit? Get the fuck out of my way, Earl.
Literally, people who don't understand that that's a passing lane.
Right. There's so many drivers that think it's their fucking lane.
Yeah.
This is the lane I always drive in.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just going to set it on cruise control.
Absolutely.
And hit it.
Don't care who's behind me.
I mean, honestly, though, when you're driving, do you get a competitive edge? Like, I feel like everybody is in competition with me on the road. Like, if I was to be riding in the, I'm doing hand gestures here, two lane. If I'm riding next to somebody,
side by side, yep,
and we're going the same speed,
you're like, oh no, you don't.
No. I gotta shoot. I gotta hit 95. I gotta go around that car.
Right to 95?
I mean, we're probably going 80 with the current speed limit here, so right? But yeah, just like that. And also, yeah.
I'll give you a moment to.
It just reminds me that I'm driving later this month, so now I'm angry already.
Oh no. Haven't even gotten in the car
Haven't even gotten there yet. Still have 16 more days, but yes, I'm angry about it.
I'm going to give you, more might come to me, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a very specific scenario.
Okay.
But this may be my worst hell yet.
Okay.
All right? Because I think we're about 25 minutes in or so I think it's fair to give you my worst scenario now.
Ooh,
my
she's good.
My grandmother's apartment. The heat is on like 78 degrees. Okay? The TV is on like level 65 volume. She can't hear. So even when she mutes the television, you have to repeat yourself at a fucking shout. And also, she can't remember the thing that you answered 30 minutes ago. So then you have to repeat yourself, not only because she can't hear, you have to repeat the same answers you've already given. And you know how much I love to repeat myself. It makes me really happy. Okay, all of those things all together, and then add on top the insults. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the barbs, as they're
little
called.
tiny-
Yeah.
I never hear from you.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you.
Yeah.
Don't forget about your grandmother. And then there's always the favorite, if I'm still here,
Mhm.
I'll be 92 this year. Or if I'm still here, I know that I'm leaving soon. Is there anything that you want? Get it now. Like,
To turn the heat down.
but just like all of this compounded,
Yeah, no, that's a combination hell.
you know?
That's like all the levels.
It's all the things.
Because that's the thing is like she has the TV up turned really loud. I'm just imagining here. I've never been to your grandma's. I've been to your grandma's apartment. Never mind, I have been. To
You
your
have,
grandma's.
but blessedly, it was a
She
very
was
short
not
time.
there.
Yeah,
Or was she? She was there.
she was there. She's on her best. She's on her best behavior.
Oh,
for new
that's
people.
right.
I
That's
told you
right.
that. Yeah.
Yes, I was new, so
Yeah. She's like, oh,
um, I just imagine that she's talking with the TV super loud
Absolutely.
too, and then she has to
Absolutely.
mute it because of that.
She doesn't often try to. I'm the one who's like, let's mute this
Okay.
so you can actually hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She'll just try to shout over it, like. And
Yeah.
then, if I could add insult to injury, she's watching Law and Order, the original Law and Order.
Not
You know,
even
fuck with- that's not my
SUV or
boyfriend.
SVU.
Not even SVU,
SVU.
the original one. Ugh. Okay, I'm done now. I think I have cleansed myself for a little while
Okay.
of this nightmare.
One of my hells, which I don't even put myself in this hell. I've removed myself from this hell, and I never want to be back into it again.
Okay.
Is in a room full of men watching sports as they're talking about sports and the teams that did great in whatever decade, blah blah blah, the lineup for that team and that I guess that's right, lineup. But yeah, like
Just spouting stats.
the spout, and then they like fight over people, but they kind of agree. So it's not really a fight, but it's just like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like I understand sports, right? I understand it. I've played some sports, not professionally, obviously, unless you consider dick sucking a sport. Then I've done it on a professional level.
Right. Gold medalist.
But and still have great knees. Don't need any Boniva.
In the prime of his career.
It's like a weird like Wikipedia, like facts
Yeah.
and action, and also everyone's watched sports. Why are there so many fucking breaks
There's so many.
and like timeouts? Like you should only get 2.
So many.
If someone's dying on the floor, yes.
Have you ever watched a whole baseball game? It is hours
Mhm.
on hours.
Mm-hmm.
And God help you if you do it in real life, then you're baking in the sun.
No, yeah. Oh, and believe me, I've gone to track meets
Oh, God.
as a spectator.
No.
And like state championship track meets as a spectator. And that's your whole day.
Yeah.
It's your whole day.
Yeah. And it's like you said, it's the fights are really the secret competition, right? Because it's like, so and so is the best player ever, and then you have to come up with another name, not really because you disagree, but because you have to prove that you know a bunch of other players, right? Like, so you have to prove, like, no, so and so in the '74 season was the motherfucking best, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
And you're like, Mary Lou Retton. Which people don't even know that reference anyway. But that's your frame of reference. The 1984 Summer Olympics. Like that's where I ended at. So like, I mean, I definitely know sports people, Abby, Jordan, all that. I mean, there wouldn't be so many people named Jordan Michael without Michael Jordan. So
Yeah.
we've talked about some hells, a lot of hells.
A lot of hells. Like, we just want you to, I think, if I could just give a little bit of advice.
Oh, yeah.
Let me throw my
Lights
little hat on.
dimming. Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. As you are living your life, okay, and trying to pick actions that will keep you out of hell, I don't want you to picture, the fire
Mm-mm.
and the stones, you know what I mean, a wasteland, if you will. Picture some of these hells that we've talked about.
Yes.
Much more realistic, something you can really get in touch with. Imagine just an endless Zoom call on camera
Mm-hmm.
the whole time, and people trying to speak while on mute. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? The connection issues. Somebody gets up and they don't have any fucking pants on. Just imagine that for eternity. And that might stop you from doing the bad thing.